Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs versus Denver Broncos Week 17 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I like to collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there's always going to be some variation between various variables. However, there's always going to be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you are new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So, starting with this matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. When you look at the NFL stat basic comparison data, and basic comparison data is essentially the basics. It's looking at how the offense is doing, how the defense is doing, and of course how the special teams is doing based on the overall factors involved in this particular game. And when you look at all this information, when you look at all the data, for the most part, when you get in all this stuff, most of it favors the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are pretty much favored over the Broncos here, which shouldn't be that surprising, but the Chiefs have been a little wishy-washy in certain games. I will say that much. The Chiefs have not exactly translated their superiority in every game they've played this year. But let's get into some reasons as to why the Chiefs are favored in this game. So first off, the Chiefs are heavily favored in this game because they just have a far superior offense. They have a much better turnover ratio, meaning they don't turn the football over as often. Very good sack percentage, or at least better than the Broncos in terms of the ability to prevent sacks. And they also have a much better offensive score percentage, which is basically the ability to put points on the board on every offensive drive. Basically the rate that you put points on the board. So all those factors heavily favor the Chiefs in terms of their offense. And then, of course, when you get to the defensive side of the football, the Broncos have the better defensive offensive score percentage and better sack percentage. The Chiefs have a better turnover ratio, but it is easy to say the Broncos do have a better defense. Just the ability to prevent points, the Broncos have a better ability to do that compared to the Chiefs. However, the reason why the Chiefs are so heavily favored is just because of their superiority on offense. I mean, it's a huge gap between how good the Broncos offense is versus the Chiefs offense, which is so good. So that's kind of the main reason why the Chiefs are so heavily favored. So even though the Broncos do have a better defense, the Chiefs offense is so good that it just far out kind of shines them a bit when it comes to data. Then, of course, when you get to some special teams data, when you look at punt return yardage, the Broncos are favored here. Kick return yardage, the Chiefs are favored. Defensive punt return yardage and defensive kick return yardage favors the Chiefs as well. Field goal percentage favors the Chiefs. Extra point percentage favors the Chiefs. And punting average favors the Chiefs as well. So, for the most part, special teams does go to the Chiefs at a very, very high level in terms of most of the major categories that matter when it comes to special teams. So the Chiefs have far superior offense, better special teams. Broncos have the better defense, but because the Chiefs have such a higher level of success on offense, it just really helps them out the most to kind of stick out in the data, which is why the Chiefs are so heavily favored in this game. Then, of course, when we get to some other sort of matchups, so now we're getting into some micro matchups, different down and distance matchups between the Broncos offense and Chiefs defense. And in this particular area, the Chiefs defense is favored on first, second, and third down. So the Chiefs are much better in terms of preventing completions based on the overall data. And then, of course, we get to the Chiefs offense versus Broncos defense, where the Broncos defense is favored on first and third down. So the Broncos more so kind of favored here when it comes to the sort of completion percentage data points. Then, of course, we get to rushing downs. This, of course, is the Broncos offense versus Chiefs defense when it comes to rushing downs. And in this particular area, the Chiefs are favored on first and second down when it comes to this particular area. So definitely more so kind of favors the Chiefs here when it comes to this particular area when it comes to rushing downs. And it's also important to note that this really has nothing to do with yardage or explosive plays. It purely has to do with the ability to create first downs or prevent first downs on defense. So that's basically the conversion rate within those parameters. Then, of course, we get to the Kansas City Chiefs offense versus Broncos defense when it comes to rushing downs. In this area, the Broncos defense is favored on second and third down. So again, this is, the Broncos defense have a fairly good rushing defense, and I think that will show up in this game to kind of stifle things a bit for the Chiefs when it comes to the rushing game. Then, of course, we get to the passing side of the football with the Broncos passing offense versus Chiefs passing defense, where honestly this is kind of an even matchup, with the only exception being that the Chiefs have a very good third down passing defense. So the Chiefs are able to kind of stifle things pretty well on third down in terms of their passing D. And it still is fairly even. When you look at first down, kind of even, second down, even. But I would say that third down situations could play a major factor for the Chiefs, as it does in every game this year, and could help them kind of to get the W on this particular area of analysis. Then we get to the Chiefs offense versus Broncos defense, where the Broncos defense is favored on second and third down. So again, another sort of area where the Broncos defense is, and it honestly is also kind of close as well here. But I will give the slight advantage to the Broncos here, more so than the Chiefs in the other, the Chiefs defense on the other side of the field. So definitely very good for the Broncos defense in terms of maybe their ability to stifle things in terms of the passing game. And then, of course, you get to sack rate between the Broncos offense and Chiefs defense, where the Broncos defense is favored on second and third down. The Chiefs will have success. First down is probably the main down and distance to watch and pay attention to in terms of figuring out when they create sacks. But for whatever reason, the Chiefs have just not done as well of a job this year. They haven't done as well in terms of creating sacks and doing those other sort of things this year for whatever reason. Then, of course, we look at the Chiefs offense versus Broncos defense in terms of sack rate, where the Broncos are favored on first and third down. So I would say it's a little bit more likely that the Broncos will probably get a sack compared to what the Chiefs defense can do. And, of course, we get to interception ratio between the Broncos offense and Chiefs defense, where the Chiefs defense is favored on second, third down, and first down even. So very likely that there probably will be some interceptions here and there that kind of go towards the Chiefs' favor. And then finally, we look at the Chiefs' offense versus Broncos' defense, where the Chiefs are favored on first and third down. But the most likely area where there might be some picks or interceptions comes on second down. That's where the majority of the interceptions have come for the Chiefs. And that's kind of the main area that I would worry about the most based on the overall data. So, general thoughts and opinions on this game. I think it's going to be a Chiefs victory. I think when you look at the Chiefs, you look at their offense, you look at their defense, you look at the special teams area, and even though the Broncos defense has been able to work some miracles this year, the Broncos defense has definitely performed admirably, but despite that, the Broncos offense is just so poor that I just don't see very many scenarios where the Broncos will be able to do much in this particular game. So as much as the Broncos defense does have some areas that it does really well, I just don't think it's enough to really push them over the top in this game. So overall, I'm going to go Chiefs victory here. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you believe is going to win this football game? And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. Hit that notification button so that you're always reminded when another video of mine drops. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.